Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. Here's what we have in the bulletin. Royalton Strike resolved, but cultural barriers remain. Authorities deport Haitian migrants and asylum seekers. And later in sports, Shamar Joseph withdraws from West Indies ODI squad. Thank you for joining us. I'm Shamela Pullen. Here are the details. Local authorities continue their crackdown on Haitian migrants and asylum seekers. TVJ News obtained footage which shows Haitians gathering at Portland's Bound Brook Wharf last night. They were boarding a Jamaica Defense Force Coast Guard vessel for Haiti. Attorney and founder of human rights group Freedom Imaginaries, Melania Lane, expressed concern about the operation and those involved.
Jamaican-born children and relatives of Jamaicans, and the family members who are being left behind didn't get any prior notification or even the dignity, of an opportunity to say goodbye. And so we are receiving frantic calls from Jamaican family members wanting to know the location of their relatives and what will happen.
She wants the government to shed more light on the operation.
I will repeat what I've always said, which is that we are now facing a rupture in the rule of law, a serious rupture in the rule of law, and the government has to be held to account. We need an investigation into the operation that's taking place today, and that investigation must include the numbers of families that have been separated, including children who are now left without their parents.
Foreign management under scrutiny after Royalton Strike, but Labour Minister Pernell Charles Jr. says the ministry is now conducting a thorough review of hotel industry practices. Approximately 200 workers at Royalton went on strike Monday, protesting low salaries and poor working conditions. Following several meetings, the workers have since returned to their posts. However, this incident has sparked renewed debate about foreign management in Jamaica's hotel industry. According to Labour Minister Pernell Charles Jr., the similarity in business laws should alleviate concerns regarding foreign involvement.
Jamaica is used to embracing talent from overseas, and the laws are similar in that the rights and the expectations are not too distant between what they would expect in Jamaica and Europe. The Royalton Group actually is one of the groups that export Jamaican talent.
Okay.
So you have Jamaicans in that group that have been nurtured and trained and gone to executive level and are now out in Antigua and other places work.
The Labour Minister acknowledged that despite similar business laws, cultural differences pose a significant challenge in Jamaica's hotel industry. A review is now being done in the sector.
We're going to be developing the Tourism Labour Relations Working Group to dive down into these issues to see exactly what are the concerns, what are the potential solutions to these concerns, and to move to really advance what we have called the decent work agenda. The International Labour Organization has this decent work agenda that is global, which talks about advancing jobs and rights for workers and social dialogue and all of that. And this is really what you see coming out of the actions this week.
But he also said that workers have the right to express their concerns, particularly when faced with poor working conditions.
And what I want to acknowledge is that when the Royalton Group reached out to us, we immediately initiated our pre-conciliation activities. And it led to them on their own having discussions which led to a resolution in under 24 hours, which means that they had some good relations. So there was some goodwill that they could rely on to treat with the issue. Now, we need to make sure, as you inferred, that sector-wide, we continue to advance best practice.
Mr. Charles was speaking on TVJ Smile Jamaica this morning. And while expressing satisfaction with the outcome of the high-level meeting at Royalton Negril on Wednesday, stakeholders say they are hoping that other hotel administrators will take heed and improve the conditions for their workers. On Monday, the disgruntled workers protested over alleged unfair wages and poor treatment. Elaine Allen Bradley, president of the Negril Chamber of Commerce, was part of the meeting.
I feel happy and confident from what the minister says that things are going to improve and improve drastically. And the staff right now seems happy that things are going to happen. And as he said also, that things cannot happen overnight. But this has been long coming. And we are hoping that other all-inclusives all over the island will take heed and treat the staff well.
Some of the demands of the workers were granted. The management agreed to increase in salaries and improving the quality and access to food in the staff canteen. Meanwhile, Chairman of the Negril Destination Assurance Council, Richard Wallace, notes that the tourism sector will see positive outcomes following the incident.
These good things will happen for the industry in general. I believe we're at a turning point in terms of the hotel sector employees. It has been changing over the last months and maybe a year or more.
Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton is acknowledging the resource constraints faced by the Bustamante Hospital for Children amid concerns surrounding the postponement of an 11-year-old girl's scoliosis surgery at the facility. The girl's mother expressed frustration over the delay, citing the hospital's lack of resources in the operating theatre as the reason. Speaking at a press briefing a short while ago, Dr. Tufton also emphasized the need for workers to take greater responsibility in managing equipment at the facility.
It can't continue like this. It cannot. It just don't make sense. It does not make sense for us to spend so much money, buy all of these equipment. The first thing that comes up, you hear that you have to wait 6 months for it to be repaired, whether it is an operating theatre or a piece of diagnostic machine. So what are we doing as part of the build-up? But for starters, we're going into leasing of equipment as opposed to purchasing. Leasing with service contracts. In these two cases I just gave you, there was no service contract, I understand, with Keegan, with Geddes Refrigeration. I believe there is no service contract with CAC. This is for Victoria Jubilee. And I believe here, is there a service contract? Yes. There's a service contract here with CAC. But even with the service contract, we're being told that the part has to be manufactured that it takes 5 months. And I think we're going to have to sharpen that up.
On the heels of criticism over the increase in expenditure for the Cornwall Regional Hospital redevelopment, the facilities lab was officially accredited by the Jamaican National Agency for Accreditation. According to Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton, the lab's accreditation now sets a standard for other hospitals across the island. Details in this report.
Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton walking through the laboratory at the Cornwall Regional Hospital. The lab is now accredited by the Jamaican National Agency for Accreditation, JNAC. This means the lab has met international benchmark standard to qualify as a certified accredited lab facility. Speaking at the accreditation ceremony recently, Dr. Tufton said the achievement reflects the hospital's dedication to quality medical testing, patient safety, and international standards. Furthermore, he says he hopes this will bring the hospital one step closer to debunking certain perceptions that have been created about the facility.
There are, in fact, people in Jamaica, and indeed right here in the parish of St. James, who feel that Cornwall Regional Hospital is an abandoned facility where nothing happens. Or indeed, to the extent that something happens, it is subpar, it is below standard. People are not getting the treatment that they deserve rightfully. This hopefully will say to those who are doubtful Thomases, not that we have completed the journey, because I don't want to create impressions that are not reality, but that good things are happening at Cornwall Regional Hospital.
It's for this reason the government is again defending its decision to increase the cost for the redevelopment of the facility. The initial estimated cost for the hospital project was just over $5 billion. The figure has been revised to $21.4 billion.
The Cornwall Regional Hospital is 53 years and never had good maintenance. That's why we have to spend so much money. And I want a clap for it, because the Andrew Holness administration put up the money and we're not apologizing, because when you fix it, all of them who are saying, and naysayers, are going to go down there, go get the benefit, and we will be there to welcome them.
While those upgrades to the hospital's main building are still underway, the health minister says he hopes the lab's accreditation will pave the way for other health facilities across the country. Kerry and Simpson, TVJ News.
It's time for a break. Stay with us. More stories when we return. Welcome back to the Midday News. It's now time for the Business Minute.
The total amount of outstanding Bank of Jamaica 30-day certificates of deposit will jump to $136 million, or 4.1% of GDP Friday, reflecting the settlement of yesterday's issue of $37 billion, which was oversubscribed. Nominal GDP was programmed at $3.29 trillion. The next auction, which will be used to mop up excess liquidity, will be held on October 30. Further afield, more bad news for Boeing. A strike of about 33,000 workers continues after union members voted down a proposal contract deal yesterday. That means Boeing's airplane manufacturing is likely to remain at a virtual standstill. Boeing's latest contract offer of a 35% raise over 4 years was better than its last of 25%. But many union members say they want more, like the return of pensions. Boeing CEO says he's committed to resetting the company's relationship with its workers. Boeing's third quarter earnings report yesterday shows a loss of more than $6 billion, but its financial struggles aren't solely due to the strike. It's been reporting losses since its second fatal 373 MAX crash in 2019. And that's it for the Business Minute. I'm Kerry and Simpson.
And time now for the top regional and international stories.
The U.S. Coast Guard recently offloaded 664 pounds of cocaine valued at approximately $3.5 million seized in the Caribbean Sea. The operation led to the arrest of 6 smugglers who were transferred to federal authorities in Puerto Rico. The smugglers face serious federal charges, including conspiracy to distribute a controlled substance, which carry penalties ranging from 10 years to life imprisonment. On the international scene, a CNN report alleges that the Israeli military used civilians as human shields in Gaza, forcing them into dangerous areas to protect soldiers. Testimonies from former prisoners and an Israeli soldier indicate that this practice occurred despite military claims that it is prohibited. The soldier described orders prioritizing soldier safety over adherence to international law, raising serious ethical concerns amid the conflict. And those were the top regional and international stories. I'm Nakinski Robinson.
Thank you, Nakinski. We take another break. Sports is next.